Welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video tutorial, we are going to see how we can easily integrate Paystack into our project, be it web application or mobile application. As we all know, Paystack is one of the most popular payment processor in Africa or Nigeria. In fact, in Nigeria, it's one of the most popular payment gateway, very robust. So I think I've been able to use it, integrate it into many of my clients' projects, and they've been very fantastic. So today we are going to see how we can actually integrate it into our project. If you are new to Paystack, they have a great documentation on how you can actually integrate it into your home project. So we walk you through going to see how we can actually use the JavaScript if you want to actually integrate it into our own project or probably our own client project. So here I have an account here, so I will actually go straight into the file manager. So here I'm using a framework. So as we all know, framework helps us to develop very faster. So let's quickly dive into the reason why we are here. I'm sorry for digressing a little bit. So here now we have our view here. So I'm going to create a file called what do I call this? Okay, let me see. Paystack JavaScript. You can name it whatever you want. So Paystack JavaScript.php. So let me see. So you can see. So we have the file. So we want to open the file down. So now we go to Paystack website, paystack.com. So here you can see the menus. We have developers menu, then login. So here I want to log in first. Okay, you can see we've been able to log in successfully into the dashboard. So you can see, so there are a few things that you need to know about this dashboard. You can see for you to develop, you can actually, before you can actually make use of a Paystack, you have to register. So you can go to a Paystack, then create account. So you can actually see, so you fill up this form, so you can supply all the necessary information. So if I develop, of course, before you can code this aspect, at least you have to know a bit of even though a beginner's understanding of JavaScript and CSS and HTML. So if you are not a developer, you show it. So after that, you can actually click on create my account, and your account will be successfully created, and then you can go to your email and verify or confirm your email. After that, you are good to go. Then there are other forms that maybe you have to supply your business name and other information, your CAC documents and others. You submit them for them, especially when you want to go to live mode. So here now we are still in the test mode. If I want to go to live mode, I'll click here. You can see you can see I don't have any money because all the money you were seeing here on for testing purpose. So you can see that I'm now in live mode. So that means if I use my card will be debited, and here I will see the credit the money paid by customer will reflect here. So let's go back to our test mode. So now for us to start coding, so we come to a developers menu. You hover over it, you go to documentation. So by arriving at this page, you want to click on this payment sidebar menu. So here now we click on accept payment. So after getting here, then you can actually read about how you can go about it. They are very simple. So in fact they try in their documentation. So by taking your time to go through it, you can actually read it. They are not hard. So you can see the parameter you have to supply, and all this where you have yes, that means you must supply all these parameters. They are very important, and you can see the description of what they mean here. So you go through them, and you go through them. You can go through them. You can go through them and read them. So let's go to the business. If we've arrived at the HTML aspect of the form aspect, where our user can actually input their details and the other information we want to collect from them. So here now they've done a fantastic job. I told you earlier on, even almost 90% of the work they've already done it for you, especially this aspect, this JavaScript aspect. But when it comes to the core aspect, then you have to do a little bit of coding. But in this JavaScript, they've done a fantastic job for you. So you can actually copy this form, the input forms that we have here. You can we copy them. So we go back to our file. So we paste it. You can see it here. So actually, like I said earlier on, I have a materialized CSS here. So as you can see, so we are going to use where we have this form group. We are going to use okay, let me just find and replace. We are going to add input feeds. So that's it. So by time, let's save our our page, and let's try to run the code and see how it will look like. So I'm using delivery the subdomain is what I'm using here, not subdom. So I actually created this subdomain that I can also. So I'm working on the project like a delivery app. So now you're done on it. So you can actually, so I created the domain, a subdomain for it, just for development purpose. So we can see. So as you can see, so it seems okay. We have to remove these feeds here. Let's put oh, I should have. Okay, we are still having it here. Let's see. Yes. Okay. So you can see the form doesn't look nice as far as I'm concerned. So I want the form to display in the middle. So I don't like, it covers the whole page, which is not that fine. We are not going to, we just make use of our materialized CSS. So write div using a row and column. So I will say class, then row. So I want everything to to be inside this row. Then we have also div, then class call, then we have a S12 on mobile. At least it should be, it should, cover the whole mobile view. So, and there on medium size screen, so I will say the first column should be 3, then the next one should be 6. So we have 3 6 3 in this case, the grid. So it should be 3 6 3. So I think we are good to go. So let's load it. So it should be able to center. You can see good, exactly. So if you think it's still big, you can actually increase it. You can turn this one to, let's say 4 4 4 4. You can see become smaller now. So let's quickly, okay, I don't like how the button is looking, so let's use a materialize CSS to, let's say btn, then green. So let's see, good. So it looks better now. So we actually been able to design our form to some extent. You can improve on the form by putting inside probably card and or probably modal or something, so to make it, but just for, since it's for just a learning purpose. Now we want to go back to our Paystack now. So let's go back to our accept payment, the payment page. So now we've been successfully executed our HTML. We want to copy the JavaScript aspect. I told you they've done fantastic job by actually making this particular approach very, very simple for developers. So you don't need to write plenty of code. So here now, so I have to put my script tag. So here we have the code now. So they although it comes, they've done some things for us here, but we can quickly do a run on how just to explain what the code means, because I believe maybe if you are still new to JavaScript. So what we have there is a document.getElement by ID method. Here we have a payment form, and this is the, you can see ID here now, the ID attribute with the value payment form. So and so whatever, so we've been able to use that to collect whatever we have inside that form. And then we have a add event listener. So this add event listener is actually a JavaScript method. So it comes with at least 3 parameters. So you have to supply the argument. For example, we are having submit as an event, then followed by callback function, pay with Paystack. So this is a callback function that we run when a user clicks on this button, submit. So you can see on click now, this code will definitely run. And then what we have here, the parameter supplied. So this prevent default means that since we are having submit here, normally under, if we are to submit event to run as this type attribute. Now the value submit we have here, if we leave it in its default state, then anytime we click on this button, it will refresh the page. So this is not what we want. So in order to prevent that, the default behavior, that's why they put this code, and comes with their own aspect. You can see here now they have an object here with parameter key. We have this parameter, but here now is property email with their values. So here now we have a key. Now first we have to change what we have here. This is a unique public key or secret key is generated for every customer on their platform, so that they can use that key to identify them. So now we want to actually go and get the our own unique key. Okay, let's go to settings. So if you come here now, API keys and the webhooks, just click here. I'm gonna do that now. You can see the secret key is not allowed to be used on the client, that is with your JavaScript, because people will have access to it, which can actually compromise your this is our public key. You click it, you can see it is being copied now. So we go back to our so where we have this key now, we copy it there. So we successfully done that. Then our email, which is also very, very important, they've done it for us. So you can see our email input field ID, email address. So if you are if you want to use it, if you are using jQuery, no problem. If it's jQuery you are familiar with, of course there's no way you will be familiar with jQuery without knowing JavaScript. So alternatively, you can actually use this same method or our JavaScript to actually collect the user's input value. You can see, so see the same thing. If you write it this way, you still get the value of whatever input the customer actually supply to email address. You can do it for the rest of the input feed. So here I'm going to stay put with their with what they provide for us. So now what do we need to do again? Okay, we are here now. This reference, good. This reference now, you say they write some mount object whatever to supply unique number. Reference number is very, very important. So you can actually, if you know you can't do anything without it, you can actually leave this part empty. So they will be the one to supply the reference number. You understand? They will be the one to supply it if you don't include it. But in our own case, I want to have control over what reference number I want to be generated for my application. I don't want a Paystack to generate the reference number for me. So how do I go about it? Then we can write very, very simple okay, let's run this and see how it looks like now. If we actually, before we now go to that aspect of reference, so let me say ak@gmail.com. Let's say the amount is 500, name AK Akbar. So let's click on it and see. Good, you can see it's working. So if I should click on it and click on pay 500 naira now, it will make use of their own reference number. just now you can see. So like me, I don't want this. I want to generate my own reference number. I want to have control over my own reference number based on my own implementation. So let me go back to file. So I want to write in a few lines of PHP code. So here now, I want to say $unique reference. Okay, let me say number. So I want to have a 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Okay, let me say 0 0 8 9. Then I now have 9 8 7 6 5 4 3 1 2 1, sorry, then 0. So then here now I will now say unique unique number substring. Then we have a shuffle. Okay, string, this is not an array. You can have a string underscore shuffle. That is the code we have here. We want it to be shuffled, so it will shuffle the whole code. Then we supply other parameters or arguments there. We have a 0, that is whatever this code reshuffle. Then we want substring now to pick from the first one then to 7. So let's echo and see how it looks like. Let's echo it and see. So let me just put it here. Let me say PHP. Okay, let's load it. Okay, let's load it again. You can see 0685728. You can see 25 is changing. You understand exactly what we want to actually achieve there. Then now we've been able to generate our unique ID, but I want it to also have a alphabet. You understand? I want it to also have a alphabet. So since they accept, if you look at the documentation, the reference, okay, the ref, they say unique case sensitive transaction reference. That is, it's case sensitive. If you want to use it to fetch a particular record, you have to give exactly what you generate. You can't have a capital letter A on a Paystack. Now you are now sending a reference number that starts with small letter B. So that means it won't fetch. It will return 0 result. So they say if you do not pass this parameter, Paystack will generate a unique reference for you. So it actually allow alphanumeric characters. Alphanumeric characters are allowed. So we've been able to generate the numeric aspect. So let's generate the alphabetic aspect of it. So let's create our array. Then we have A, B, C, D. So let me just stop here. You can write this to Z. You understand? You can write this to Z, or you can actually mix it up after including it A to Z, since is case sensitive. You can, when you write A to Z encapsulator, you can also write another A to Z in small letter, so that before PHP will exhaust that, it will be running to billions of transactions, or trillions self, so because they are unique. So now you can actually do that, but here I'm going to stop because it's for learning purposes. So if I want to use it for, I will definitely extend it to the last alphabet Z, and if we include lowercase letters. Now I want this to be shuffle. I want this array to be shuffle also. So I'll put here this array, and then let me now echo this array. Let me echo this array. If we have array there, that means of course we should have array, the number and the array. Okay, good, we have a array here. So now what we want to do now, we want to actually get whatever this shuffle, this shuffle now. Okay, let me turn this array to, so let me use a index 0. So I supply index. This index means this array index 0 means, well, after reshuffling this array, run the code again and see. You can see B here now. Okay, let me give it a little bit of space. Let me concatenate it. Okay. Good. You can see A here now. You can see C. You can see D. So that's how it will be selecting it. So now we can now come down here. So I want to actually create a new, let me call it ref number, a new input feed. So here I will copy this code here, and the value I put in. So what we have here, I will remove all this, then concatenate it. So let's see it. You can see we have 827584551. Then let's reload the page again. You can see C. So they are all unique now. So that means we have total control over what is generated on our app. So we are the ones supplying. We know that we have a unique structure. We know what to expect and what will be generated and what will be sent to Paystack. So now, since we've been able to successfully generate this, we can now go back to our sorry for the mouse there. Okay, we are back. So now where we have this ref number, so we can actually comment out this. Let's comment out this. So let's um let's try to make a payment. Let's try to make a payment. Let's say admin at delivery app. Let's say we are paying 50,000. Let's say Akbar Uchena. Let's see. Yes, as you can see, it brings you can see test here. It shows that we are in the test mode. This is the email we supply and the amount we want to pay. So let's select this one. This is Visa. Let's try and make payment. Yeah, it's successful. You can actually see our unique reference number now that we supply. You can actually see it here. So if we should close this, and then if you look at it, you can see that they are the same. So let's go to Paystack dashboard and see what we have there. So you can see, so let's go to transactions. You can see 50,000 the transact. You can see our unique ID here now. You can see our unique ID. You can see fantastic. So being able to successfully make that payment, which is very good. So we can have control. We know the kind number that we want to generate. So we know the kind number that we are generating. So one thing we want to do here now again, you can see that we make this reference number. You can see that if we go back to, you can see customer can actually change it, and if they type any one they like, it can actually clash with, or this is supposed to be unique. So if they change it, if allow them, if we don't do something to restrict the users from actually changing this, then they may decide to change what the system generates for us, and then it can actually have a kind of bad effect, because the number here, the number they supply may already be existing on the Paystack website, so which can cause a lot of problem for the customer in paying. So what we are going to do now, we want to actually restrict customers or the users from actually changing the generated reference number. So what we can do, we can actually hide this number by supplying value to our type attribute to be hidden. If we click on this and let's actually reload our page, you can see it's no longer there, it's hidden now. So of course you can hide it from them, they have nothing to do with it. Let's try and supply, let's say Abimbola at gmail.com. Let's say 4,000. Let's say Abimbola. You can see the email of Abimbola, and then when you click on Visa and We pay again, successful. You can see it shows the same it shows our own reference number. Fantastic. So if you go back to Paystack transaction page, you can see we have it here already. So let's again, another thing we can do, we can still leave it without hiding it from them. They can actually see, but what we can do, we can now use a HTML read only attributes. Read only attribute, that means they can only see it. They won't be able to do anything on the page. They won't be able to change anything. So you can see now, even though they try to change it, they won't be able to do anything. So let's try it again. Let's say Badu. Let's say Olamide at gmail.com. Let's say 5,000. Let's say Wheezy, and then let's say Flavor, Mr. Flavor. So let's click on it. See, okay. You can see still the same thing with what we have here, and then what the system, what the reference number that we supply them, and they return it. So which shows it's working fine, perfect. So in this part of the tutorial, we've been able to see how we can actually use HTML, CSS, and JavaScript to embed or integrate Paystack into our application. You can see it, how we demonstrated it. It's very simple. I told you they've actually has done almost 90% of jobs for us. So this is it's not more than this. So we can actually, easily embed it. So it's very, very simple. They have a great, wonderful documentation that can actually help you. So you can actually go through it and read about the about how you can integrate it into your project. But what I've shown you is enough. So for you to get started with it, you can actually start using it for your clients. So those who require some of your clients, they want you to actually embed payment processor so that they can, start accepting payment from their customers. So you can follow this example. So in our next video tutorial, I will show you how you can actually, for instance, some customers, they already register with you. So instead of you giving them, a headache of filling forms every time. So for instance, if actually the money they want to pay is is constant, that is, it doesn't change. So there's a way you can actually go through it. So instead of you asking for their email, first name, blah blah blah, you already save it on the database. Then when they log in, then you have access to that information. So immediately they log in, then you fetch their information. Even in this framework that I'm using, I don't need to actually fetch this thing. Immediately they log in, all their data is already, without even using a session and cookies. So I will show you how you can actually do that with object-oriented programming in our class. So how you can actually achieve this. So I will show you, and it makes your your cookies and the session can be hijacked. But this one is very difficult for anyone because it's, object is inside class. So for anyone to actually hijack it, we don't use it, and it's wonderfully stateful. So you can actually use it in any page of your project. So it's very fantastic. So I'm going to show you this in our next video tutorial. So it's something you don't want to miss. So I can very soon I will actually upload that video, and then you can watch it. So you just how you can actually embed it, how customers, when they log in, you collect their data, the data is already there. When they get to payment page, then all they need is to just click pay, or if the amount changes, then the amount your system generates for them, then they make their payment, and within few seconds, because people are too busy. In fact, people don't have time to be filling forms here and there. It's very I myself, I don't, if you ask me to fill forms, you understand, I get bored. I don't like filling forms. So what, as a developer, you have to look away, because people are just too busy these days. So if it's something, if you are taking much of their time by filling unnecessary forms, long form that take them 5 minutes, no, they don't have that. So by this, once they fill the form, you already collect their information, very few. Then by the time they come back to your application or your website, then they don't need to fill any form. You already get everything, and they just made the payment within few seconds. They get out, so they can do other things. So those are the things we have to learn how to do when you have to put all this back of your mind when you are actually developing for your clients, or your whoever want the users of your client's application or your own application. So that's it for today.